I'm here today with Claire Dale, Director for Companies in Motion. Claire is a movement specialist and a leading expert in physical intelligence. She and her team train and coach individuals from board level to entry level to help them achieve their peak performance. Today, Claire is here to address specifically how physical intelligence can enhance our effectiveness both in our professional and personal lives. And I'm very excited to be here with Claire today. Welcome.
Thank you, Steph. It's great to be here.
So Claire, selling and negotiation are key competencies nowadays in almost every single position. So how can physical intelligence help us become better salesmen, saleswomen, and negotiators?
Today, yes, it's an increasingly competitive regulatory and procurement environment. And negotiators really need strength, flexibility, resilience, and endurance. And these are the four elements of physical intelligence that help negotiators perform at their peak.
And is there a specific winning cocktail dedicated to becoming a better salesperson and a better negotiator?
Well, in selling and negotiating, we are driven by certain chemicals, and we need to create a finely tuned balance in order to perform well under, especially when perhaps there are erosive tactics being played. So first of all, testosterone is really important, both for men and women. It helps you move into a sales cycle, and it helps you stand your ground when there are erosive tactics. Testosterone is about confidence and positive assertion. And then cortisol needs to maintain at a low optimal level, because in a negotiation we need to be able to bundle and unbundle and be able to do the mental maths. And we also need not to be defensive or justify, because at that point we're about to give away our shirt. Then, of course, oxytocin, the social bonding and trust chemical, is important because we need to build that essential rapport, and all the best negotiations are collaborative. And then dopamine, we need to be clear what it is that we want from a negotiation, or how we're going to achieve and realise our sales targets.
So in a negotiation, typically you meet people from very diverse backgrounds, and often you're also exposed to a variety of negotiation tactics. So how can PI help me recognize and deal with those tactics and come out successful the other end?
Yeah, walking into a negotiation can be daunting, even if you've already created a good working relationship with your counterparty. Perhaps somebody winces at your price, or they start to devalue what you're bringing to the table.
Or they get personal.
And then your cortisol spikes. So we actually need to use a whole range of physical intelligence techniques to get the cortisol in the right place, so that testosterone, oxytocin, and dopamine can reboot and enable us to think clearly and operate with confidence and assertion.
I'm sure in the course of your career and your own experience, you've seen lots of negotiations and were part of it. Is there a particular technique that you found worked very well for you yourself when you were in the middle of a tough negotiation?
Firstly, flexibility is really important. We need the strength, but we also need the flexibility. And if you're preparing for your negotiation hunched over your computer screen the entire day prior, then you're going to be operating with far too much physical tension. When we have too much physical tension, mentally we shut down as well. So we do what's called an MOT, a map of tension, and we encourage every single negotiator we work with to do one immediately prior to the negotiation, so that the physical and emotional and mental components of negotiating are finely tuned and ready to come together and do really good work, negotiating work.
That's great. But I think another challenge in negotiation is also that you don't want to burn bridges, right? On the one end, you have to be tough and you have to walk into conflict situations. At the same time, you also want to keep and maintain a good client relationship, for instance. So how do you deal with that dichotomy?
Yeah, absolutely. And it also links to sales into negotiation. If you are working on a continuum, it can feel that when you're selling, you're trying to align with your clients and find solutions. And then if you move into a negotiating process, it can feel like you're suddenly squaring off. So what you talk about in terms of maintaining the relationship whilst protecting your own commercial needs is very, very important. So we have a technique called relation shift. And this enables us to practice shifting to understanding our client's agenda and collaborating with them, maintaining those bridges, whilst being very clear and strong about our commercial needs. There's another technique as well called Bimotion, which enables you to slow down your response to something coming back at you in a negotiation, and be able to choose, take your time, center yourself and come back with a chosen, well-constructed response that isn't to do with the cortisol spike. So that's just 2 of 100 techniques in the entire physical intelligence curriculum, and many of them apply directly to negotiators.
Excellent. So what I take away is you need to be persistent, at the same time flexible, but also be able to let go if you want to be a good negotiator.
Absolutely.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair. And I think, we need to know that negotiations can sometimes be difficult. Slow fuse over the long-term negotiations just take persistence and patience. So in addition to what you've said, we also really need to understand how to motivate ourselves when that's happening. And visualization is a very good physical intelligence technique, and athletes in training would use visualization 5 to 10 minutes a day. So why wouldn't we as hardcore negotiators? And it's like if you were on a desert island, stranded, and you're trying to build your raft, but you're hungry, you're thirsty, you think, I just can't go on. But you've managed to salvage a photograph of your family, and you take it out of your pocket and you look at their faces, and suddenly, even though you're at the end of your energy levels, you find somehow a boost that makes you want to go forward. So you finish the raft and set sail for the mainland. But it's exactly the same with long, slow fuse negotiations. We need to see the end point, be optimistic about it, and be able to know why we're doing this and make it feel very real. That pulls us through an endurance tunnel. So it's all about the dopamine, the great motivator.
About not giving up.
About not giving up.
Thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Steph.